Right, so I'm going to have a game of bolt action with my son and daughter today. We've decided we're going to have a snow battle. So, just to run you through the table, we've got a ruined farmhouse over here. Inside the building will be rough ground, and then the fields will be rough ground as well. There's a couple of those as well. Over here is a wood, which will be rough ground, but there's a ford for people to cross there. There's also a bridge that can be crossed here. But there is another wood that will be rough ground. All the hedgerows will be obstacles. Inside the buildings will be rough ground as well. There's a couple of ruined buildings here, some more obstacles here. So we'll be back with the forces in just a second.
Let me watch it.
So this is George's American team. He's got a second lieutenant with an extra rifleman. Then he's got two 12-man squads with an NCO with an SMG and a BAR in each.
Go and get the scissors!
The rest are all rifles. Then he's also got a Jeep, but it hasn't got a machine gun on it. And a bazooka team and two 30 caliber machine guns teams. Right, so this is Amy and my team. We've got a lieutenant with two riflemen. Then two 10-man Wehrmacht squads with an NCO with an SMG and a light machine gun team in each. Some of the models have Panzerfaust, but we're not using them in this game. They also have a Hanomag and an 81mm mortar team and an MG42 medium machine gun team. We're playing maximum attrition. George is going to be coming on from this table edge with his Americans. And Amy and I will be coming on from this table edge with the Germans. So we'll be back with turn one. Right, so end of turn one, and what's happened this turn? George has brought up this 12-man squad and one of the 30 cal teams up to the woods here. Then the Germans have left off the Hanomag with a 10-man squad in it. And one of the 30 men, the second lieutenant and his two extra men with rifles. They're still in reserve. Over here, George has brought up a 12-man squad and a machine gun. One of the 30 cal teams up there. The Jeep drove up round the corner, and the bazooka team popped out and are sitting in cover in there. And then the second lieutenant came up to there, and that's the end of turn one, really. We'll be back with turn two. End of turn two, and this unit has advanced across the ford. That unit advanced into the wood and lost a guy to some machine gun fire from the Hanomag. Then the unit that was in the Hanomag came out and headed towards that ruined building there. The Hanomag is sat here. The unit that was in the wood, well, it advanced towards the wood and fired on the MMG team across there. That team lost 3 guys to the unit here that advanced to the bridge. Then the American Jeep has picked up the bazooka team, and the second lieutenant has moved into there. These guys, machine gun team, fired on them, pinning them, but with no casualties. And that fired on the MMG team over there, but didn't cause any casualties. End of turn 3. Right, this turn, this unit advanced up and shot these guys up, and so did that unit on the bridge, and caused lots of casualties, but they're sticking around. They've gone down now, trying to get into the building. Then this unit moved up and fired on the machine gun team that was over here and eventually took them out with the help of the MG42 over there, which caused 1 casualty. The mortar fired on the machine gun team here and they have gone down, and that is pretty much it. Oh no, the second lieutenant and his man have moved out of that building and the jeep's moving up the road with the bazooka team in it. Okay, we'll be back with turn 4. End of turn 4. These Americans moved up and killed the unit that was there. The half-track moved up, advanced and fired on the American team on the bridge, putting a pin on them. And this unit in the trees fired on that unit as well and killed a couple of their guys. The jeep ran up with the bazooka team in it. George's second lieutenant and his extra man advanced up to the barrels and they got shot at and pinned by the machine gun team here. The mortar fired on the machine gun team in the wood and caused another casualty. And that is the end of turn 4. End of turn 5, and this team advanced up and fired on the guys in the trees, causing a few casualties, and these guys advanced and shot at them as well, causing a few casualties. The bazooka team jumped out of the jeep and fired on the Hanomag. Hanomag returned fire on this unit, and this unit fired on this unit, and this machine gun team fired on this unit as well, causing quite a few casualties. That's the dead pile for this turn. The mortar team fired on the machine gun team in the wood and put another pin on them, but nothing else. And the second lieutenant advanced up to the building but was out of range to fire on the MG42. End of turn 6, and this unit has advanced up the hill. They were hiding around there, well, they'd advanced out to here. The Hanomag fired on the bazooka team, killed them, and has then driven up towards its own units over here. The mortar team fired on the machine gun team in the wood and finally took it out. The jeep dropped off the bazooka team and then took off back over the bridge. The second lieutenant and his extra man came out behind the hedge, hoping to get a shot off at the Germans here, the MG42 team, but missed. Then the MG42 team fired on these guys and gave them a casualty. And that is the end of turn 6. We'll roll, see whether we get turn 7. Okay, the end of the game, we played a 7th turn. The Americans here moved up onto the hill, fired at the mortar and caused 2 casualties there. The mortar fired on a unit that was here but missed. But the machine gun fired on them and killed 2 and the others ran away. The jeep took off and drove around the corner there. The second lieutenant and his extra man came out of cover, fired on the medium machine gun but missed, and the Hanomag drove around the wood, pivoted towards them, and the second lieutenant and his 2 extra men in the Hanomag fired on the American second lieutenant and killed him. So at the end of the game, Germans took out 5 units and the Americans took out 2, so it is a win for the Germans.